What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here, and we are back, y'all. We are back with the recap and review of Powerbook 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 1. Gangsters don't die. And y'all know Unique was a gangster. Yes. And the synopsis for this episode reads, Unique endures a painful recovery fueled by hate and vengeance as other untold narratives unfold around him, filling in the gaps leading up to the deadly showdown in the season 3 finale by revisiting events through other perspectives. Basically, they went back in time and showed us things that was happening that we didn't know was happening before that whole showdown in that warehouse with Rock and Kanan and Kanan's daddy, detective, whatever. You know, when he got shot and Unique's brother got shot and everybody was getting shot up in there. And remember, it ended with Unique coming in there, seeing the dead bodies, which was the detective and his brother Ronnie, and all these other people who had got shot up in there. And he saw Rock and Kanan leave, which means he had it all wrong, which you found out about that at the end of the episode. So before we get started with this recap and review, if you're new here or if you're returning here and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all. It'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you hit that like button, write a comment, and share the video because sharing is caring. So now it starts 3 months earlier, and the narrator stated, sometimes you have to look back to find out how you got where you are at now, something like that. So it starts off with Unique waking up after Ronnie had dumped his body, which he thought he was dead, on a highway down some hill, with a lot of garbage and stuff has been dumped. And somehow Unique makes it to a phone booth and he calls a friend who comes and pick him up. It's funny, this guy who's playing this part, he's from SNL, Saturday Night Live. He's one of the people who do the skits on Saturday Night Live. So it was nice seeing him doing something serious and not so funny all the time, even though he had a few funny comments during this episode. But remember, y'all, the funny person used to be Marvin all the time. Marvin was always doing something or saying something funny. Anywho, they take us back to that scene at the club where Famous is on stage singing Streets Need a Body. And remember, he and Kanan are not speaking. Kanan's at the table with Jukebox and Aisha. And Jukebox gets up and goes to the bar to get some water. And that's when Uncle Lou comes over and apologizes for missing her audition. She said that's cool. She sits back down at the table. But y'all, somebody put it down in the comment section. I can't get a read on Aisha. Is Aisha into Kanan or is she into Jukebox? Because she's asking Kanan about Nicole, and was she pretty and all this stuff. And Nicole was so lucky to have Juke, and then she invited Juke to come over and meet her parents. And I'm like, but then she said, Kanan, I'm happy to be here at the table. We're sitting here with you tonight. I was like, is she into Jukebox and Kanan? Somebody put it down in the comment section because I'm all confused. Then we see Rock and her attorney at the precinct. Remember those detectives came to, I don't know if they were FBI agents or whatever. They came to her house saying they need to talk to her. And she said, I have to call my attorney in the last episode. So anyway, her attorney is telling her that she don't have nothing to worry about. They ain't got nothing on her or the people in her circle. So he told her don't worry about it. But she all of a sudden got hungry, wanted to go back to the vending machine to get a candy bar. And when she stood up, she saw Detective, why I can't remember his name, Omar Epps. She saw him looking at her. She's looking at him. And then she finally leaves. So now we see Unique in the back of the car, his friend's car, and his friend is like, dog, I can't believe you're alive. You jacked up. He's like, keeps saying stuff, looking in the rearview mirror, telling him how busted he looked and everything. He said, I'm surprised. You look like you dead or something. But anyway, he ends up taking him to a veterinarian. That's who he gave money to try to help Unique. And the veterinarian is like, I need to take x-rays and all kind of stuff, which stuff that I can't do here. He's really messed up. You need special services and stuff here. And the friend is like, look, I just want to know what you could do with the money that I gave you up front. What can you take care of for him right now and stuff? And he's like, because I'm going to make sure he's alive long enough to pay me my money back because I came out of pocket and money I ain't have. That's all he kept talking about, his money. And throughout the whole episode, when he talking to Unique, it's about getting his money back and all of this stuff. And Unique is like, he got to get himself together before he can give somebody some money back. So the friend takes Unique to his house and dumps him on a bed and stuff, told him to get some rest. The doctor ends up coming by to check on him and gives them like prescription drugs and saying, but he said this is a long road ahead. Forget getting their money back. This is like could take months to get him healed properly with the brain injuries that he have. And he said people who go through stuff like this, sometimes they end up coming back as a different person. Someone, if they were nice before, they might not be as nice. They might be angry and mad and want revenge. He said it has happened before with injuries such as this type. So he was basically saying you need to take him to a hospital because he gonna need more than what I can do for him. So next we see this quick scene with Marvin. He gets a phone call from somebody and he's like, you sure you don't want to talk to my sister instead? And he's like, okay, I'll meet you. Come to find out, it's Stefano. The Italian guy who had the fish all the time he was feeding. I don't know if he had some kind of aquarium or garden or whatever out there in Brooklyn, but that's who it was. He ends up meeting with Marvin and he's like, I know you were surprised to hear from me and all this stuff. And he said, I didn't want to involve your sister. He said, I'm my own man. So I don't have to follow my sister. And he's like, oh, I love that about you. Great. So he's telling him he did a good job on that time he pretended to be a mailman and killed that guy in front of the church and everything. So he wants Marvin to do some more work for him like that. And Marvin agrees to do it. And he tells him it's about his daughter's husband, I guess his son-in-law, he said. And he said, there's a rule in the Italians, the families, they can't, when they, I guess in the mob, whatever, you can't go after another person in the mob or whatever. But the way to get around the rule is they hire somebody on the outside to do it. But they can't do it. It's like Marvin was like, y'all asses sure know how to get around them rules, don't y'all? So the issue is Stefano's son-in-law is cheating on his wife, and he's doing it out in the open, embarrassing his wife, embarrassing Stefano, the whole family. He's embarrassing them by doing this. So he wants Marvin to knock some sense into homeboy. And so he told Marvin if he does this for him, that he will owe him a favor, and that's a good thing. So next we see Kanan. He's in the principal's office and she's telling him he needs to get his paper done or else he's going to fail. Kanan is telling her he don't have any grandparents to write about. And she said, that's funny. I talked to your mother and she said, you have a grandmother and a late grandfather who had rich histories that he can explore. And he's like rolling his eyes up in his head. And he's like, I told the teacher I would do the paper, but I wanted to do it on something else. And the principal told him, you don't get to tell a teacher what you're going to do your assignment on. You get that assignment done by the end of the semester or else. And that was that, because she said it's attached to the social worker who comes and checks on him too. So that might cause him to end up having to go back to jail if he don't follow up with what he's supposed to do or something like that. I can't remember what the whole thing was with that social worker who checks on him weekly or monthly. Anywho, he doesn't want to talk to his mother. That's what Kanan's issue is. He don't want to have to talk to Rock about it. So he ends up going finally to see his grandmother, who was happy to see him and talk to him and stuff. And she don't get along with Rock all the time anyway, and or her other kids, to be honest with that. So she tells her side of what she think about his grandfather, because he said he wants to do it on his grandfather. And she tells her story about him. Then he talks to Marvin, Uncle Marvin, and Marvin tells his story about the grandfather, which was his father. And then he talks to Uncle Lou, who tells a little bit as well. So he's in his room, I guess, working on the paper, and Rock comes there trying to talk to him, but he don't want to have nothing to say to her. And she asks him about the paper. She said, you don't want to talk to me? And he's like, I think I got enough for what I need about it, or something like that. He's such a rude little something, ain't he, y'all? Put it down in the comment section if y'all think Kanan is like a piece of work, you know. Anywho, let's go back to Rock, who gets sick and throwing up in the toilet. And I already knew once she had the munchies and she's throwing up, she's pregnant. So she realized she's pregnant and stuff. She took the test and she wants to abort it because the truth is, it's Unique's baby. And since Unique is dead, she ain't got no time for that or anything else. So she's like, ain't no need me keeping it. And the doctors are telling her, oh, you need to talk to the therapist after this and talk to the therapist for that. And she's like, I've done this before. We good. Let's just do this, you know. And so she has the abortion and she calls Jukebox to come and pick her up. And Jukebox is driving her home and she's like telling Juke what she did and that she not to tell anybody. And then she told Juke that it was Unique's baby and Juke was shocked. She said, I know it's somebody who I've been spending all this time trying to kill, fighting against, like he's the enemy, but now it's not. But I guess I was shocked that they didn't mention it, and I don't know if Jukebox remembered it or not. But once Unique came back and saved Rock that day when they was about to kill Rock, and he said South Side forever, that was it. And that was the end of season 2, I think it was. This is the end of season 2. So in season 3, that's when he and Rock hooked up and was having, just messing around and fooling around and stuff. But Rock told Juke that she really felt something for him. She actually really felt something for Unique and that she could have loved him. And I was like, wow, I kind of was sad about that, because I would have loved to see Rock and Unique together. Wouldn't y'all have? Put it down in the comment section how y'all felt about it. But I forgot to tell y'all something. Before Kanan went to see his grandmother, he went to see Detective, what's his name? His father. I don't know why I can't remember his name. He went to see his father. And his father's like, you can't write about my damn peoples. What's wrong with you? What did people put 2 and 2 together? What if they find out that you're not DEF CON's son? You want people to know your father's a cop? He said, that ain't smart. That's not smart at all. And he said another thing, showing up to my place of business is not a good idea either. So now we have this quick scene where Aisha brought Jukebox to her house to meet her parents. And they asking 50 questions, all in her business. What your parents do? What do you do? What's this? What's that? And Aisha's like, Dad, give us a break. And then the father with the, oh, what do you want to do in life? Because, that I'm sure that group Butter is just a nice extracurricular activity. She's like, Dad, thanks for stepping on our dreams, And he's like, I'm not stepping on your dreams. You always wanted to go to Spelman since she was a little girl and all this stuff. She said, but everybody doesn't have the same goals and dreams. She's like, well, the mother's like, oh, I'm sure Jukebox wants to have a bright future as well. Don't you? And Jukebox said, yes. But sometimes when parents just be asking nosy questions, it's like, stop already. So now we see Unique. He woke up and he's trying to get his friend to give him the keys to the car so he could drive and tell Nessa and his son that he's alive. And he's like, nah, man, you can't drive. And he's like, give me the key. And he tried to walk and fall. And his friend leaves him down there for a minute and said, look at this nigga. He up here asking for keys to the car. He can't walk across my kitchen. So he picks him up and put him back to bed or wherever he put him. And then next thing you see him eating solid food. He said, okay, you eating solid food. That's good. That's good. So he started telling him, I gotta go out there and pay back who did this to me and stuff. And he said he know that his brother did it. And his friend said, yeah, but that's a big deal. Maybe he did it with somebody. Maybe he was working with somebody to do that. But, Unique, the way it went down and what happened. You don't think he's really working with somebody, is he? But because of that brain injury and stuff, he's thinking he got all these little things in his head because his friend said that he might be working with somebody. So his friend told him to lay back in the cut and wait to see who fills his spot, who's taking over where Unique left off, And the funny thing is, the person who filled that space was Rock. So now Unique is going to think that Rock had something to do with it, because what he does is tell his friend he needs him to run some surveillance for him and find out what's going on, what he hears going on in the streets and stuff. And so when his friend gets back to him, he tells him what he learned about Ronnie, what he learned about Kanan, and what he learned about Rock. And so Unique is putting that all together in his head and thinking they're the ones who were working with Ronnie. But like I told y'all in the beginning, at the end, when he comes into that warehouse, he realizes that he was all wrong because Unique started doing surveillance. He was using his friend's car and he was doing surveillance, watching people. And at one point, he was watching Lou. He was going to kill Lou, and Lou wasn't even one of the ones. I guess he's going to kill him just because that was his Rock's brother. But Lou had nothing to do with it. And he was going to get out his car and shoot him. But the lady from the club came and got Lou because he was drunk and said he can't drive. And she brought him back inside the club. So Unique got back in his car. But at the end of the episode, when he walked up in that warehouse, I'm sure he was glad that he didn't kill Lou because he had it all wrong in his head. He thinking that Rock and Kanan were working together with Ronnie. And poor Unique thought that Rock was playing him. And he was getting angry and telling his friend, that's how she is. That's how she do all them niggas she's with and all this stuff. But we all know how Rock felt about Unique based on how she answered Jukebox question, was she in love with Unique? So now let's go back to Marvin, who's doing surveillance for Stefano. And so he was watching I'm gonna keep calling him Stefano. I think his name is Tomas. Tomas is Stefano's son-in-law. So he's following him and he sees him with the girl, got her giving him head in the car. He don't give a F about nothing. And Marvin is laughing and eating popcorn like it's a damn show. So he followed him another night, caught up with him, and got out his car when the guy came out of the house and he was about to get in his face, but then two other Italian dudes came up. So Marvin played it off like he thought he was in Bushwick or somewhere, I don't know, some other part of Brooklyn. And they was like, no, this ain't that part or whatever it is. So they told him to get his behind back in his car, or else what they was going to do and all this stuff. And he's like, okay, I thought y'all would give me directions. They tell him he got off at the wrong exit. So he gets in his car, and that guy Tomas is like, check him out, thinking he's in Bushwick. It wasn't that one. It was something with green in it, whatever it is. And he was like, you're seeing all monkeys flying on the trees and stuff. I said, ooh, listen to this racist behind dude. Really? So that was okay. Marvin got in his car and took off. Then he caught up with him again. And he trapped him in a locker room. And he said, I got off the right exit this time, you cracker or something like that, he called him or whatever. And he said, who the F are you? And Marvin punched him, pow, right in the nose, knocked him to the floor, and picked up one of them ice skates. He must have been skating for hockey or something. Put that ice skate to his face like he was going to cut him. And he said, you've been disrespecting your wife with that other biatch. And I'm here to tell you, you better knock that ish out right now. He said, you follow my direction. You hear me? And he's like, yes, yes. And Marvin got up off of him, threw the skate down and said, yeah, you're dead. So later on, Marvin gets a call from Stefano. He's like, yo, I don't know what you said, what you did to him, but he's like, it worked. He said he done booked a cruise and to take my daughter away on vacation and everything. He was like, well, like I aim to please. Also, I forgot to tell y'all, during that stakeout that Unique was doing, he saw Ronnie leaving with that woman, Juliana. Remember Juliana? That Rock ended up shooting, killing her in her apartment. Anyway, now we have Jukebox in a diner and she's meeting with Nicole's father and thanking him for giving her that flyer about the audition because she did try out and she got into the group and he was so excited and happy for her. And then it seemed like he was getting emotional saying how Nicole would have been so proud too. And then Jukebox took this moment to ask him about his time being in the military. And he told her what he did in the military. And he was asking her, was she interested? And she said, it's one of the options. And in a tactful way, he was trying to let her know how the military treats black folks or whatever it was. But he didn't say it that way. But then he tried to go back and not talk about that and go back to talking about the group. So now we have this quick scene with Lou. he's in that club or bar, whatever, and he's cleaning up, and somebody comes in. He's like, "We're not open yet," and she's like, "I'm not here for a drink." And come to find out, it's famous sister Jess. Remember her? She had went to California and left Lou. So she just came by to say hello and how proud she is of him or something like that, I think, or something. And she hugged him and left. But he really didn't have anything much to say to her. I guess he was upset with the way she abandoned him or left him hanging. But while she was there, she was basically trying to butter him up, saying how when she was in California, she was telling people one day we were going to all be working for Lou Thomas. Then we see another quick scene with Kanan with his girlfriend. Remember Crystal? She's in that apartment that they were in, and one of his workers came in there fighting for the other workers to get more money, saying Kanan got them out there working 24/7 and they want more money and stuff. So Kanan promised to run the numbers and he'll get back to him. But then his phone rings and it's his grandmother and she's in the hospital. So he gets over there and nobody else knows that she's in the hospital. And she called him to take her home. And she let him know that she had kidney cancer. And he's the only one in the family who knows about it. And she didn't want it to keep it that way. And he said, "I got you." And she said, "I know you do." And then the episode ended with Unique sitting in the car and he sees Rock, Kanan, and who was the other person leaving? I don't think that was Marvin. Was Marvin with them? Because I don't remember him being there. But three of them left out of that warehouse. And then Unique went in there to assess the situation. And we hear the narrator saying, "Now here we are, back where the F we started. See, you thought you knew everything, but turns out you didn't. Because nobody knows everything. And it's better that way. Because if you knew everything, you'd know too much." And at this point, we see Unique walking inside the warehouse and he sees all the dead bodies. And then they show Unique pulling out a gun. I said, what was he going to do? Shoot Ronnie one more time just for the heck of it? Anyway, that's how it ended, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. We are back with Raising Kanan, and it is all that and then some. So put it down in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Peace.